If you're applying for a skilled worker visa in 2026 or you are an employer sponsoring someone, this video tells you the 4 main reasons your application can get refused. And these are very small avoidable things that can be fixed in no time. Before we dwell into today's topic, a quick intro. I am Yash Dupal, Managing Director at AY&J Solicitors. We are an SRA-regulated legal 500 firm with over a decade in UK immigration, winning multiple awards, serving 4,000 plus clients and having 1,200 positive reviews. We are here to help you. So reason 1, the salary. The most question I hear is, my salary is above 41,700, am I eligible? And the answer depends on 2 other figures you have not checked yet. In 2026, your salary has to pass 3 tests at the same time. Miss any one, that may result in a refusal. So test 1 is the floor. The annual salary must be at least 41,700. That is the minimum threshold. Consider this as a minimum criteria. Test 2, the going rate. Now, this is a very important test. Every job on the skilled worker route has a minimum hourly rate set by the Home Office, not just a salary on paper, a real hourly rate worked out from your job's official SOC code that your employer is required to pay at minimum. If your job is minimum hourly rate works out above 41,700 annually, that hourly rate is your number, not 41,700. The hourly rate wins every time. So let's say you are a software engineer. The going rate for that job might be 48,100. Your employer offers you 43,000 pounds. You think, great, that's about 41,700. That's not the case. 43,000 is above the floor, but it's below the minimum hourly rate your job requires. And here is the critical point. It's the employer's responsibility to ensure the salary they offer meets the Home Office going rate for that specific job code. If they get it wrong, your application could be refused. And this is why you cannot simply take your employer's word that the salary is compliant. Ask them to show you in writing the SOC code, the going rate attached to it, and how your offered salary meets or exceeds the requirement. If they cannot produce that, the offer is not or might not be safe to proceed with. Now the test 3 is the pay period rule. From 8 April 2026, your salary has to hit the threshold in every single pay period. Not on average across the year, not annually, every month, every pay cycle. Now this is the test, something most employers have not read about. What it means practically is this: if you are paid monthly, every single month's gross pay must equal at least 1/12 of the required annual threshold. Your employer's cycle to work scheme, unpaid leave day, or bonus heavy structure where your base salary sits below the floor. Now, any of these can cause a specific pay period to fail. These thresholds sound high, especially if you are fresh from university. The Home Office has a provision for exactly that. It's called new entrant discount. So if you qualify, your threshold drops to 33,400 instead of 41,700. You qualify if you are under 26, switching from a graduate route or student visa in a recognized training program, or moving from a postdoctoral role. But your employer must record this on the certificate of sponsorship. If they miss it, your application is assessed at 41,700 by default. Their oversight results in refusal. So what you should do before your employer issue the certificate of sponsorship, request written confirmation of 4 specific things. Number 1, the exact SOC code they intend to use. Number 2, the going rate for that code under the current appendix skilled worker. Third is your guaranteed gross monthly pay. And the 4th one is whether you qualify for new entrant classification or not. If any of those 4 points cannot be answered clearly, the application might not be ready to be submitted. Now, reason 2 is your employer's compliance record. The certificate of sponsorship is the foundational document of every skilled worker visa application and is issued by the employer. Once you have it, you're almost good to submit your skilled worker visa application. However, this is what most applicants fail to understand, that your eligibility to apply is also partially dependent on your employer's conduct. When a sponsor license is revoked, every sponsored worker with that employer faces a very specific and urgent problem. Their leave is typically curtailed. They are normally given 60 days to secure alternative sponsorship or depart the United Kingdom. For someone mid-application, someone who submitted their application last month is waiting for a decision, a revocation during that period means their application is refused, not because of anything they did, because of what their employer failed to do. So the Home Office now conducts unannounced compliance visit as the standard approach. Their own policy guidance states visit should normally be unannounced. Now, officers attend the premises, interview sponsored workers about their actual duties and their salary and how they were recruited. Now, if they compare those answers against the certificate of sponsorship, and if the answers are not adequate, that may lead to suspension or revocation of the sponsor license. Now, what you should do is search the license sponsor register on gov.uk before accepting any offer. Ask your employer directly whether they have been subject to a compliance visit in the last 12 months and what the outcome was, and request a copy of the COS before it's submitted. Verify that the job title, duties, SOC code and the salary figures are identical across the COS and your offer letter and your employment contract, because every discrepancy is a risk. Now let's talk about reason 3, that is English language requirement. So the rule that changed in January 2026 is still catching up with people in May 2026. So from 8 January 2026, new skilled worker applicants need English language at B2 level, up from B1. So B2 is upper intermediate and it's tested across 4 skills separately: reading, writing, speaking, listening, and there is no averaging. You can be great at speaking, but if you fail writing short of B2, you fail. Every part has to pass on its own. And on a very separate note, this is for people on graduate visa. You came as an international student, proved your English language as B1. Now you're switching from graduate visa. You found a new employer willing to sponsor you, and at that switch, you discover the B1 that you got here no longer counts for the skilled worker route. So please check that you do meet the requirement of English language at the time of your application. Also, 2 things worth knowing. Once your employer names you on the COS, you can normally start working from the date you apply, not the date of the decision, because you are on graduate visa. And another point is, as a new entrant, your salary floor is 33,400, not 41,700. And one more deadline: from January 2027, the graduate visa drops from 2 years to 18 months, but only applicants made on or after that date. Apply by 31st December 2026 and you still get the full 2 years. And PhD graduates anyways keep 3 years. That cutoff matters. It decides how much time you have to find a sponsor, get a COS and switch. So what you should do: if you have a bachelor's or master's degree from the UK university, you already meet the English language requirement. If you do not hold a UK degree, book your B2 secure English language test before you start looking for a sponsor, not after the offer arrives, because the results could take up to 4 weeks and the COS has a limited validity period, so the order matters. Either way, check with us before your COS is issued. This is one of the most commonly misunderstood condition on the entire route. Now let's talk about the next reason, the reason 4, document inconsistency. Almost 20 years of my experience in this field, the reason for refusal that frustrates me the most is the document inconsistency, because it's completely avoidable. From 2026, the Home Office cross-check your application against HMRC payroll data in real time. So the caseworkers are trained to spot any mismatch between your certificate of sponsorship, offer letter, contract and past application. It now takes far less to trigger scrutiny. On a separate note, and here is a common myth, people think a dependent visa is a permanent status. It's not. But if you are on a dependent visa and you get a job offer from a licensed sponsor at the right salary, you can switch to a skilled worker visa, which is in your own right within the UK. Now that gives you an independent status, your own route to settlement, the most importantly, an immigration position that does not collapse if your relationship ends. So let's talk about what you should do. So conduct a document matching exercise before submission, not during or after. Every figure on the COS must correspond precisely to the offer letter and the employment contract. Every job title must be identical across every document, and also check if you have NHS debt. like checks with NHS. If you have any outstanding debt, you should pay before you apply, and review your immigration history and disclose proactively anything that could constitute a suitability concern. Undisclosed issues that are later discovered by the Home Office carry significantly more weight than issues disclosed honestly at the time of application. So what this system requires of you. In 2026, the UK's immigration system has become very technically demanding. The rules are precise, the thresholds are rising, and the enforcement is real. If you are an employer, or if your employer holds a sponsor license, comment the word license below and we'll send you our free sponsor license compliance checklist. If this is helpful, I will also invite you to subscribe to our channel now, and on top of that, if your situation requires individual advice, speak with our immigration lawyer before your problem becomes a deadline. A single consultation can save you from unwanted issues in your application. So contact us today. Details are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.